Hello, welcome to episode 1 on how to become superhuman. Anyone can become superhuman. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, how old you are, how young you are, how big you are, how small you are. Anyone has incredible advantages in this life, and it's a matter of looking at ourselves without judgment and finding our basic patterns so we can choose to change them in whatever way we desire. Today I wanted to start a really quick episode off on the very basics. And the very basics relate to this pattern here. This is a waveform, and it relates to everything in the universe. You, me, all opposites, all matter, all space, sound, color, you name it. This pattern is represented in one way or another in this. And so what I wanted to talk to people about initially is our choice of words, because I find that this is a very, very powerful technique that a lot of people don't realize they use constantly and can put themselves down or cannot believe themselves or believe there is such a thing as negativity or bad. And this is easier to understand but a little bit more difficult to feel. But really all that you have to do is to remain consistent. Practicing, and just learning and learning. Making any sort of new consistent pattern of your choice will eventually just naturally grow your skill level and your feeling of the skill. And that's how you tend to master things. You learn about it, and you learn about it, and you learn about it, and then you forget about it and just feel it through. And so in this waveform are all of our ups and downs in life. And you realize that we can't really have ups unless we have downs. And so they insinuate each other. You can't have difficult times in life and not positive. Every difficulty is going to lead to a positivity, and every positivity is going to lead back to another one again. And this pattern will overlay itself in so many different ways, and sometimes it's hard to keep up. And so in order to really follow this basic pattern, I highly, highly recommend that you start your own form of meditation. And that can be sitting meditation, walking meditation, or my favorite being yoga, which I teach here in this studio. When we do yoga or some form of meditation in a nice quiet area, we're able to be on our own time in a nice clear space, and we get familiar with this pattern very simply with the breath. This being your inhale and your exhale, and inhaling and exhaling, and inhaling and exhaling. We always think that the very basis substances that we need in life are food and water, but even more basic than that is our breath. I mean, you can live without food for a while, you can live without water for a little while, but you can't live without the breath for very long. And the breath is what naturally connects us with everything, and we can get more into that later. But I wanted to point out the fact that there is no bad part of the breath. The inhale insinuates the exhale, and the exhale insinuates the inhale. So there's no negativity in that. There's no bad. I think what we have gotten confused as a society is that there is such a thing as negativity, and that there is such a thing as there being bad, but in failing or error, all these different things that make us not feel good, but lead to things that are good. And so you could define the peaks as all the different things in life that we really like, and you can define the valleys as maybe all the things that we don't like. But there is no negativity here. There's either good or not good. I mean, we can call it negativity, but that kind of insinuates that it wasn't meant to be. It's not for a reason. And that will become true if it's not for a reason, and then will just naturally occur these things without even realizing that it was this that caused it in the first place. So what we want to do is whenever we're in a slump or in one of our downs in life, just to recognize what feelings are coming over us, what we're learning, what we're going through, maybe why we're going through it, maybe what the pattern was back here, or what it might continue on to being. And to just observe it as it is. Don't make a decision on it, because the more things we act on negatively, the more negativity will attract into our lives. And the more things that we insinuate as either positive or at least neutral, the more positive or neutral things will attract into our lives, and that will create a very quick and learning curve. But if we're always focusing on the things as being bad and focusing on down here, then we won't enjoy the climb up, and we won't anticipate the fall back down. And so start breathing and start being aware of your breath. The mind really wants to focus on a lot of different things at once. We're in a time of information overload. There's so many things to think about, and our attention spans are really quick. But in order to get back down to basics, to get to the very fundamentals of what you are and where you can go from, come back to your breath. Come back and relate it to all the different things in your life. And notice the sensations over getting familiar with your breath has over your body. You know, when we always get into a stressed out form, people say, breathe, breathe. And so we breathe, but we're paying attention maybe still to the problem rather than paying attention to our breath and realizing that we are all right in the moment, everything is okay. And that if we just continue to breathe through things, we can get through anything. And so start to get familiar with your breath. All of your exhales and all of your inhales. Notice what sort of changes it has over your feelings, your emotional state, and your thoughts. Find as many different things that you can focus on while you breath. Everything from the natural feeling of the expansion and contraction of your chest, feeling the pressure increase and decrease in your body, feeling the wind going through your nostrils or your mouth or whatever you decide to do. Just focus on as many things as possible. Give the mind many things to think about. And we'll come back and do something more added onto this.